Hey there, guys. We are joining the action. It's a 0-0 game, and it's Brett Gardner who is batting 62. That's a strikeout. Redding is on the mound for the Mets. We are continuing our broadcast of the series, the Subway Series of 2009, the second one towards the end of June between the Mets and the Yankees. This time it's the Yanks at Mets. Gardner strikes out. He's 0 for 3 now, and that is strikeout number 4 for Redding. It's a 0-0 tie in the top of the fifth inning. It's Nick Swisher. And that's a 45. That's going to be a ball 4. And we're using the Merino boards partially because one of the pitchers I have going doesn't seem to have the number that he's supposed to have, from what I understand. But so be it. Teixeira, we're still using it for the other roles, the higher roles, and the fielding and so forth. 61 Teixeira, that's a 42. That's a hit by pitch. So Teixeira trots down onto first base. First and second now with only one out. It's A-Rod. And it's going to be ball 4. Bases are loaded. So it's a scoreless tie here in the fifth, but the Yanks are threatening. Robbie Cano, the smooth operator. And the infield's going to be in here in the top of the, and that's a 26 with the infield in, a 24. And that's going to be a fielding 3 for the Mets, so that's going to be trouble. We're going to have to look at, let's see, the Merino boards. Let me find the one that says bases loaded. And I don't seem to be able to find the one. I may not even have that one. Who knows? I try to print out all of them. I have runners on second and third, and then it goes to I don't seem to have the bases loaded. I have 2 runners on third, but no bases loaded. Let me check my my folder where I kept the Merino boards, and I think it's here. No. So we're going to have to use the regular boards. I don't seem to have it for that particular, let me double check here. Nope. Okay, so then we're going to use the regular bases loaded board. Motorcycle just went by. 24 with the infield in. Runner out at home. Fielder's choice, batter safe at first. It's a 6-2. Wait a second. Runner out at home. Fielder's choice, batter safe at first, 6-2. Double play. All right, so there is 1 out. Runner's out at home. Okay. Batter safe at first, 6-2. Then it says, oh, if it's deep, if the infield was deep, it'd be a double play. I got you now. All right. 6-2. I have to learn to read those semicolons. So it's a 6-2 force out, or fielder's choice, whatever you want to call it. And all the runners move up, and Cano is on at first now. So Robbie hit it right at the shortstop, Cora, and it's Posada. 21, and that's a strikeout. So Posada down on strikes, strikeout number 5 for Redding. And the Mets get out of that jam. No hits, 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and the Yanks leave 3 in that inning. So I'm going to bring up, it's going to be Cora Reyes in right for the Mets in the bottom of the fifth. It's a 0-0 tie. A 42, that's a strikeout. So A.J. Burnett on the mound for the Yanks. Strikes out Cora, who is now 0 for 3. Next is Reyes, Argenis Reyes. He is a 6 at second base, 55, and that's a strikeout. So he's one of those part-time fringe players that I brought in, made up a homebrew card for him to have the actual lineups, because I'm a stickler for that sort of thing. David Wright with 2 outs here in the fifth inning, and that's a 65. That's popped up, and that's going to be a pop-up to the catcher. And I got to double check because I know that Burnett is a W, so I don't think that with nobody on, that's a walk. But I got to double check on the 35, and it's not. Okay. So 3 up, 3 down for AJ here in the bottom of the 5th. We've got a pretty good pitcher's duel going here, so that's exciting. Don't see many of those so far. I probably jinxed it. All right. This is the Milkman Milky Cabrera. Oh, that's going to be a second column shot, and that's going to be a gapper, and that's going to get him to second base with a double. Ramiro Pena, 51, that's an 8, but by this time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, our D pitcher becomes a C pitcher, and an 8 with a runner on second, and Cabrera, I believe, is fast, and that's going to be an RBI. Runner on second, we're going to look at the Marino board, and I'll show you how it works here. Runner on second, single, S out, S batter to set, S out. Okay, so single runner scores, basically. That's what on an 8. So that's how the Marino boards work. And now, of course, if I had numbers for, let me see if I have a number for. Now I'm learning how to. I do not have a number for Reading on there. I had to create it, and it's not difficult to create. It actually gives you instructions on how to create the numbers, which is kind of cool. I just didn't have time to do that. You know, I don't do a lot of prep. I just start rolling. I get the cards out. I get the actual lineup and start rolling. So that's going to be an RBI single. It's a 1-0 ball game now. So Ramiro Pena, another fringe player that just is covering for Jeter, is in there. And now Burnett's going to bunt, and that's going to be a 24-13. I believe that is going to be 2 strikes when attempting to bunt. The runner on first, I said 13. It's a foul strike, excuse me. So we're going to get another bunt opportunity. And that's a 34. That's a 31. That's going to be an effective sacrifice. I just know that from memory. There you go. So that's Pena's over to second base now. So A.J. Burnett does his job. And now it's Brett Gardner, who is 0 for 3 on the day. And that's going to be a 33. That's going to be a single. And around second, here's the relay. And Pena's safe. 2-0. RBI single. 2 out RBI clutch single for Gardner. And on the throw home, Gardner's going to go to second. The speedy Gardner gets over to second. Swisher, 62, and that's a strikeout. Out number 2 now. And that is strikeout number 5. That was number 5 there. This is number 6 now. So there is action in the Met bullpen, and the switch hitter Teixeira's up. But we're going to let Reading go one more batter. Should we or shouldn't we? And that ball is lined and caught by the second baseman for out number 3. So the Yanks pick up 2 big runs here in the top of the 6th. They lead it 2-0 on 1, 2, 3 base hits. Big RBI singles by Pena and Gardner against Reading, who is pitching a heck of a ball game up to this point. But now he's down. See if the Mets can get something going for him, something going offensively, because they failed to do so. Ryan Church, and that's lifted to right. Yankee right fielder Swisher, he's there. F9. My son has high school baseball tryouts today, and I was there earlier. They had a scrimmage game. That was fun watching him live, even though he has some shoulder tightness. He did get a steroid shot there, but it seems that it's still a nagging kind of issue. We had a specialist look at him as he did not have any rotator cuff or any tears, anything like that. So we're going to see how that, they're going to have to kind of keep an eye on it. Danny Murphy with 2 out and hits it hard right at shortstop Pena across the diamond to Teixeira. And that's 3 up, 3 down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Burnett becomes a B pitcher at this point. So he is really dealing here against the Mets at Citi Field. Top of the 7th. Here's the pitch from Redding. And that's a 16. That's a strikeout. Swing and a miss by A-Rod. Number 7 for Redding. Cano. It's a 33. That's going to be stroked into the gap, and Cano stands up into second base. What a sweet swing Robbie Cano has. He's 2 for 4 on the day. Here's Posada, 64. It's a wild pitch. Cano goes to third. Infield's going to be brought in now against, well, let me go back to Posada still up. Excuse me. Infield is in, and that's a 41-24 with a runner on third. Let's see what our Marino board say. 24. The Mets are a 24 infield. Runner on third. Doesn't give me option. Infield 24 first, batter to second. It doesn't infield. Oh, okay. CD. On some of these it has, all right, on some of these it has C, CD. Infield in, infield back. Okay, I got you. On this 24, it says just first on fielder's choice, runner out 6-2-5, batter to second. With 2 outs, it's batter to second. Okay. They caught him in a rundown, so they got Cano on a run in a rundown, which is exciting. 6-2-5, tagged out by the third baseman. All right, so that's going to be an out, and that's going to be a fielder's choice, and the batter is going to go to second on the throw, and that's out number 2. So Posada's on at second base, and he's going to be going station to station since he's a slow runner. Cabrera 6-2, and that's a fly ball lifted to right field. Right fielder Ryan Church is there for the Mets and puts it away. 1 hit, no runs. Bottom of the 7th. The Amazons are coming up. The Amazons. It's Reed, Schneider, and the pitcher Redding, who potentially will be removed for a pinch hitter. We're going to quickly pull up the lineup of the day, and I'm going to take a quick sip of a beverage. Now, if you haven't checked out my Motherload unboxing of the Motherload video, check it out. I get a big box of Appa stuff basically sent to me because the guy just wanted to dump his collection. It's a little bit disheveled, if you will, disorganized. You have to kind of put everything in order, so that's why he was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to sit there and put everything in order if I'm gonna sell it as a year, right? He was like, if I sell it as 1998, and I know I have some guys, some bunch of cards over here, some bunch of cards over there. I'm not going to, whoever gets it is going to be unhappy. So you know what? Let me just give somebody a lump sum deal. And that's what I did. And I got about 12, 13 seasons from the 80s to the 90s for, a really fair price. It's going to take me hours. At $50 an hour, it ends up being expensive, but heck, I enjoy doing it. It's a labor of love. So I'm putting them all together. So anyway, it's Jeremy Reed leading off the bottom of the 7th, and I am pulling up the lineup for the day. And let me see. I got a lot of action going on here in this old Pavilion DV7 that I have. It's an old computer, and it belonged to a doctor friend of mine. And he was getting rid of it, and he knows that I'm a trash collector. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So I picked it up through my wife's connection, and here I am. All right. So let me pull up Mets 2009. Mets 2009 schedule. And then I'll be able to bring up this game. I want to try to follow this game as closely as possible within reason, within within reason. I think that's the best way of saying it. Just be guide. It's more of a guide, you know. It's more of a guide. This is June 27th, so I'm using Almanac. Some guy said, "Hey, use Almanac, man. It's really good." I like the way it's designed. I like the Almanac design better than I like the baseball reference, just because it's got the old typewriter. You know, it's just kind of a cool, more of a retro style box score look. Okay, so the Mets brought in Martinez to pinch hit. So, all right, Reed is up, and that's a 52. That's a strikeout for Burnett. Strikeout number 5. Out number 1. Schneider's next, the catcher. And that's a 61. That's a grounder right at the shortstop. Pena feels to his left, makes the throw, 2 away. And here he is, Tim Redding. Now, I'm not sure if this is the number for him, for his pitching number. I don't know why it says 4L. I don't know. Oh, wait, L is the no. Okay. All right, so he's a 4. All right, so it did have a number. All right, so again, I'm learning and I'm moving at this, you know, approaching it very slowly. So do not criticize for that. You can criticize for other stuff. All right, anyway, I'm going to bring in Martinez to pinch hit. He is another fringe type guy who had 91 at bats that year, batted like a 176, but you know, playing that year, you don't know what he's going to bat. So that's why I bring in these guys. Like I could say, oh no, I want my team to win. I do favor the Mets over the Yankees, although they're both my team. I could be like, you know what, I want to favor my team, and he only batted 176, and I know that. But you wouldn't know that. That's why I try to stay with the actual lineups, because it's kind of cool. And you know, guys like this sometimes, you know, crank one out of the park and win the ballgame for you, and that's really the flavor. That's the thing I love about baseball. The regular guy, you know, kind of being a hero at some point, waiting his turn, and becoming that hero. I love that about it. So Martinez, guy at the supermarket, says to me, "How you doing today?" And I go, "Well, depends. How are you doing?" He says, "I'm okay." And I say, "You know what? Well, I'm okay." And he goes, "Well, what if I would have said I'm doing great?" And I would have said, "Hey, then I'm doing great." And I said, haven't heard anybody say that before. Anyway, all right, so here he is, Fernando Martinez pinch hitting in the bottom of the 7th. And that's a 24, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 6 for Burnett. So Burnett's dealing here. I mean, he's retired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 batters in a row. No runs, no hits. And we're going to have a new pitcher for the Mets. The Mets, Stokes. Stokes is coming in, and he pitched in this game. And I'll show you what his deal is. And maybe we can try to look and see if he has oh, there it is. He has an 8 with a star. I don't understand what the star means, but I know what the 8 means. So that's Stokes. So he's going to come in. Stokes actually pitched in this game. He is a right-hander. And he's a C. And he is a 2, which raises the Mets to a B. Hooray. Okay, and he's going to be orange. We're going to color him in orange. So he's going to go in here, and he's going to be orange. He's top of the 8th inning. He's going to be Pena, Burnett, and Gardner. It's a 2-0 Yankee lead in the top of the 8th. And Stokes is coming in to pitch for the Mets. Brian Stokes, he pitched 69 games in 2009 with a 3.98 ERA. All right. All right, so Redding is out of there, and it's going to be Ramiro Pena leading it off. Ramiro Pena leading it off, and here's the pitch from Stokes. I'm also going to do this little thingy here. Dave does that, and I like doing that. I love seeing that. Anyway, all right, 36, and Stokes had no letters, so that's going to be a 30. 36 is a 33, and that's popped up to third baseman, 1 away. Burnett's going to bat 63, and that's a fly ball to right field. Church puts it away. Ryan Church, one of the most consistent players, or platoon players you want to see. but I think he batted 276 3 or 4 times in his 6 or 7 or 8 major league seasons. Gardner, and that's a 10. And now we have Stokes. What did we say he was? He was an 8. All right. So then, if he's an 8, and let me see, Gardner is that's against a lefty. Stokes is a righty. And let me double check that. I believe he was a righty. This is going to take a second here. If it takes me too long, I'm not going to do it too often until I really become comfortable with it. Okay, so he's a righty. And so that would be a -2. So that's bad for the batter, I understand. So -2, right, would become I guess it would become a 12 against a righty with nobody on. So the 10 becomes a 12. And you guys will, I know you guys will contact me later and tell me, hey, fool, you're totally off. You don't know what you're doing. So it becomes a 12, and that's going to be a ground out to first base. So if the 10 becomes a 12, because he's a -2, now the 10 would have become an 8, I guess, right? And that's how it works, I imagine. But I know guys will tell me when they see this. So it's a ground to first base. And that's out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down for Stokes. No runs, no hits. Gardner loses a base hit there because of Stokes being an 8. Oh, against an 8 pitcher. Wait a second. Yeah, against an 8 pitcher, a 10. Okay. Is a single. But then he has the -2. So then it becomes 12. All right. I think that's the way it goes. All right. The Mets are coming up. Cora. Alex Cora, 25. That's a 9. And A.J. Burnett is a righty. And he's pitching well, right now, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He is more than a 9 at this point because he would be an A pitcher already. So I'm going to go with the regular, and that's going to be an out. It's going to be a grounder. 1 away. Because I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know how to change I use a modifier that Appa uses. Like a D goes to a C after a certain number of shutout innings and so forth. And I don't know how to do that yet with the Merino board. So this is going to be a work in progress for me. Slow learning curve here. 29, that's going to be a strikeout. So strikeout number 7. 2 away. Argenis Reyes walks away shaking his head. 24, and that's going to be another strikeout. Number 8. So AJ really picked it up here in the late innings, and he goes 8 so far, and he hasn't given up a lot of base runner in 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 4 innings, and a third, and that is 12. That's 13 batters he's retired in a row. So when he comes back, he's going to be facing Church, Sheffield, and Murphy in the bottom of the 9th inning. If he comes back, we may bring Mo just because he was unanimously voted into the Hall of Fame, first time ever for any player to be on every single ballot. Here's Nick Swisher, 31. Stokes is still in there, 14. That's going to be a walk. So Swisher walks. Teixeira, 34. That's flied out to center. Center fielder, Reed is right there. 1 away. Robbie Cano, smooth operator, base on balls. Stokes may be a Z. No, he is not. He is not a Z, so that's a walk. First and second. And Posada, righty. Who else did the Mets have in this? Who bring in this game? Mish and Dessens. Let's see. We got 2 other fringe players that the Mets are using in this. A guy named Mish, and a guy named Dessens. Pat Mish is a C. He would be throws lefty. He's a lefty. Then Dessens is an R, Z, and he's actually a B. So we're going to bring him in to see if we can get out of this inning with no more runs. So we're going to bring in Dessens. He is a righty. He's going to pitch to Posada. So Dessens is a righty. And he's going to be blue. And this makes it easy for me to identify who exactly was where. That's why I do it that way. Visually, it's more appealing to me. Guys don't like it. Guys, some like it, some love it. So anyway, all right, here goes Posada. 33. Oh boy, that's trouble for the Mets. That's going to score a couple of runs for sure. And that's a 13. That's going to be a double. And A-Rod, let's see what they categorize A-Rod as on first base. Where is A-Rod? Yeah, A-Rod should be there somewhere. What did I do with A-Rod? I put him over here. All right. I don't know why A-Rod wasn't where he was supposed to be. I don't know why he's stuck in the middle. Who do I have? It was Cano. No, Robbie Cano is batting now. Wait a second. Robbie Cano is batting. A-Rod. Okay. All right. You got a mess. Robbie Cano should be batting, a lefty. So then I wouldn't have brought in. Okay. So let's backtrack a little bit. Let's backtrack. Let's bring in this guy Mish. He's a B. It doesn't matter because it was. Okay, so we're not bringing Dessens in yet. We're going to bring in Mish, and he's going to be a B. He's a C, but for that batter, he's an R. Okay. Okay, so then there you go. It's going to be Robbie Cano, and it's going to be a double for Robbie Cano. And did A-Rod have a? Yep, he had a 30. So we rolled a 36. So that would have been a walk. So it's going to be 33, and A-Rod is he's okay. So he's going to stop at third. So it's a 2-run double. I'm sorry, it's a RBI double for Cano. Makes it 3-0, and A-Rod, because he's average speed, normal speed, he's going to stop at third. So we have second and third now, and now we're going to bring in Dessens. Dessens is going to come in. He's going to pitch to Posada, and Dessens is going to be red. So it's there you go. And here's the pitch to Posada with runners on second and third. Infield's in for the Mets. 66, that's a deep drive. Back goes the left fielder, Sheffield, to the track, to the wall, looks up, it's out of here. 3-run, home run, Posada. 1, 2, 3. And I know that you and I both know that Dessens wishes he had that pitch back. Not happy, Elmer Dessens comes in to pitch to Posada and gives up a 3-run home run. And the score now is 6-0 Yanks. We won't be seeing Mariano Mo Cabrera. .22, and that's a line drive base hit for Cabrera. That's his second hit of that's his third hit of the game. He's 3 for 5. Ramiro Pena, we're still with 1 out, 55, and that's a single. No, that's going to be an out. 1-3, out number 2. So the game is basically pretty much out of reach, barring a miracle, which happen every 200 games. 55 with runners on first and runner on second is going to be an out. So we're going to make that fly ball center field because it's the third out. And that's all she wrote. So if this went longer. So there you go. The Mets, the Yanks pick up 4 big runs on 1, 2, 3 hits and a walk. And they leave 1. And at the end of 8.5, it's 6-0 Yankees. And AJ is going to try to complete this game, something we don't see very often. AJ Burnett, let's get his card out for a complete game celebration shutout. Oh my goodness, he's pitching a 1-hitter. A 2-hitter, pitching a 2-hitter. All right, so the Mets are going to bring up Church, Sheffield, and then Murphy. Church, Sheffield, and Murphy. and that's a 46. It's a grounder to the third baseman. One away. So you saw me dabble in the Merino boards for the first time ever in my existence, in my life, in my short life, because it's short compared to the length of the existence of the planet. Sheffield, 64. That's a strikeout. So that's number 9 for Burnett, who's pitched masterfully here. He's got a 2-hit shutout going. Danny Murphy, we need a home run here to sabotage the masterful pitching of A.J. Burnett. And we got A.J. Burnett right here, who was not very successful as a Yankee. Had a lot of issues. 24, and that's a fly ball, deep right field, and back goes the right fielder Swisher to the track and makes the catch. Game over. Yankees shut out the Amazons. A 2-hitter, a gem pitched by A.J. Burnett. A.J. Burnett from Little Rock, Arkansas, called AJ, goes on to play with the Pirates for a couple of years, his last couple of years, and does pretty well. Actually does. He was better fit for a place like, I think he was too just emotional. You know, he wore his heart on his sleeve type guy, and he cared what, you know, in New York, man, you can't care about anything. It's got to bounce off you, you know. You can't give negative stuff a second thought. You just got to go about your business. And that's what I think happened to AJ. I mean, he was a tremendous pitcher in Florida. Then New York picked him up, and he was kind of a disaster, to be honest with you. When I would see him on the mound, I'd be like, oh, okay, they're giving up another 6 to 8 runs, and they're losing this game. And he did have more often than not, he had an ERA between 4 and 5, sometimes over 5. And he had his masterful days, like this one, for example, a 2-hitter. But, I mean, he really dominated in this game. I mean, since the 4th inning, he's retired 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 16 batters consecutively, and he picked up on the strikeouts. He picked up 5 strikeouts in the last 3 innings, so he just picked it up a notch here when he saw that he saw the finish line, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna reach this finish line, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna leave an impression here with the fans at Citi Field. He eventually goes to Pittsburgh, and he does much better, has a couple of very effective seasons, and he pitches them to contention. So A.J. Burnett leads the Yankees to a 6. Yanks 6, Metsies 0. It's A.J. with the win, and it's Redding, who did not pitch too bad himself, with the loss. And that's all she wrote. Thanks for stopping by and checking us out. And I'll see you guys soon with the next thing that I'm doing. I do not know exactly what I'm doing. I got to put some cards together of the Motherlode, but check out the Motherlode video that I posted of me going crazy with a box of unknown stuff, pretty much. You know, I had an idea, but I didn't know the condition. I didn't know anything really how it was packed. So that's always exciting. It takes us back. All right, take care, guys. I will see you later today with a couple more games, I'm sure.